Hello.
Hello.
Let's see. All right. I think the mics are working.
It appears. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining us today. Happy holiday, whatever type of holiday you are celebrating. Merry, happy, all of those good things.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yep.
It's crazy. We're back.
Crazy
Sarah's
here.
back. And it's been a fun couple of days.
It's the week before Christmas, so it's chaos here. It's probably chaos at home, and
A little bit of this.
a little bit of that.
A little bit of that.
Yeah.
Yes, and as we were talking, it's also crazy birthday.
Lots of birthdays. Yes, lots and lots of birthdays.
Lots of birthdays. Happy birthday, Caitlin, yesterday.
Yes.
She turned old. No, I'm just kidding. She's 26. I don't know how that. I'm not old enough to have that. That's not true. I am totally old enough to have that, but it's
Doesn't feel
crazy
like
when you really think about it. You're like, how did we get there?
happened.
You know, it
Yeah.
happens so very fast. And happy birthday, Shirley. And we've got some others that are coming. Kathy's is the end of the month who works here. She's got a birthday coming up too. So it's always interesting when your birthday is so close to Christmas. It's hard. We always try to separate for Caitlin, you know, and make it about her, not about Christmas. And we don't blend, but we try not to anyways.
Yeah.
But got to make it special.
Sometimes it's harder than others.
It is. You know, there's only so many days in December. So thank you all for joining us and hanging out with us all year, because we're almost to the end of this one.
We are.
I cannot believe we're so close.
It's been a ride.
It's been a year. So we have a lot of fun things that we're going to talk about. Do we want to do cookies first?
Yeah, let's do
cookies
first.
because everybody likes cookies,
Right.
right? So we put out that we have some of our our cookie and Christmas goodie
Yeah, kind of like our cookie traditions, things that we make every
things
year.
that we do
Yes.
at Christmas. So these are yours. You want to talk
Yes.
about them?
Oh yeah. So the funny thing about this is, so it's my grandma Mary, and this was her fudge recipe. And for the longest time, my mom would give me the recipe, but she wouldn't tell me what the secret ingredient was. And so every time I would come to her house, I couldn't figure out what the secret ingredient was. Well, the secret ingredient was the wooden spatula or the wooden spoon. So apparently,
You have to mix with
you
that.
have to mix, because when you use the metal, it changes like the
flavor.
texture, the flavor of the stuff when it's boiling. So it is the.
So did yours taste different?
I only ever made it with my mom.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't really know that was that. And so when I was like old enough to be on my own, I was at my grandma's house for Christmas, and I'm like, so grandma, I need to know what the secret recipe is. And she just looked at me, she leaned over and she whispered in my ear that it was the wooden spoon, and we all just laughed and laughed and laughed. So I put that little tidbit at the bottom there that is the secret ingredient. So it does taste a little bit different if you use metal. It just changes how the butter and everything melts together and gives it a different flavor. And
sure.
so there you go.
There you
That's our
go.
Secret
There's
ingredient.
the secret of the day.
And then my chocolate chip bars. The funny thing about my chocolate chip bars is I thought this was like a family secret recipe. It's the recipe that's on the Nestle semi-chocolate things. So for like 20 years, I thought my family had this really fantastic recipe, and so I made it, but I didn't use Nestle semi-sweet. I used like Hershey, and I'm like, these cookies are awful. Like, they do not taste the same. And I was like, what is it? And then my mom was like, well, you have to use these. And so Dave and I, 2 years, we make them. And then I just happened to flip it over
and there.
And I'm like, this is exactly the same recipe. So there you go. There's my funny cookie story. But instead of making them into round ones, we just use like a flat pan.
Do you make these every year?
I haven't made them in the last 2 years because we haven't had anybody
had people come to eat
over to our house, and so that's just a lot of chocolate chip cookies for Dave and I to eat.
Aw, what's wrong with that?
I mean, we could, but we haven't. But we do have family coming over this year for Christmas, so we are going to make fudge and chocolate chip bars.
And do you only get to eat these things at Christmas, or do you make any of this any other time?
This was always like my birthday cake because it was like it's like sheet pan cookies.
Right.
So that's
Did
what
we
I
put
always
frosting
wanted.
on it and said "Happy Birthday, Sarah" on the pad?
Yeah, that's what I always wanted. So that's it. That's.
I got one of those
recipe.
cookie things from the mall once because I was like, oh my gosh, I love chocolate chip cookies, right? So I mean, and I liked their cookies.
Yeah.
You know, I'd always get cookies when I went to the mall or whatever. And so I was like, I really want a cookie
Mhm.
cake or whatever you call it,
Right.
pot cookie pie or whatever for my birthday. I hated it. I thought the frosting ruined it all. It just was like, this does not taste right. It
was not the same.
wasn't the same.
No, and they put
It's funny
so
how your
much.
brain, oh my gosh, that is ours.
We just got a big delivery.
We clear everything out and then
it
more
comes
shows
back.
up an hour later. Oh Lord, sorry.
So
I
yeah,
looked up and
that is it. This is when I learned from my mom that if you put a little piece of bread in your cookie jar,
it keeps
your
them
cookies
softer.
soft.
Yep.
And of course, you know, I don't think people tell people these things.
No,
these
it's the
days.
little things, right?
You know, like that's what, like, it's like a little, I don't know, like a hidden trick, right? I mean, people like don't know these things anymore, which is kind of funny. So, but there you go.
If you didn't know that, guys,
Yeah.
if you put just literally standard bread
Yep.
in your cookie container, it will keep them moist longer, so they won't get hard as fast.
They don't get hard.
So they last longer.
And they don't.
Because that's the problem, right?
Oh yeah, they last so long.
So thank you for sharing.
And how about you?
So these, so the molasses cookies actually came from my mom's side of the family, and my grandma always made them. And it's harder to find the dark molasses. It used to be that's like it was everywhere. You could choose. You know, the green bottle was the dark, and the yellowish orange or whatever was the. They don't. It's really hard to find dark, and they'll still taste good without. They're a little bit better if you use dark. But if you can't find dark, use the regular. But these were my mom's. They probably went back farther than that.
Right.
But they're soft. They're like almost gooey, and they're made with coffee. You guys know I don't like coffee, right? But I love these cookies. So it's an odd little thing. They're so good, and I do make them not just at Christmas, but usually it's at Christmas, and I'll put red and green sprinkles on the top so that they have a nice Christmassy look to them. But I have made them at other times, and then I'll put blue or white or whatever on them so that they're not specifically Christmas.
Right.
But they're a nice soft. So a lot of molasses cookies are harder.
Yep.
And these are very soft, and they're actually better after they've sat in your container overnight. They're a little gooier, which is just fantastic. It's just
makes it a lot better.
Yeah. So, I mean, I definitely don't dip them in my coffee in the morning because I don't have coffee in the morning. But they have a little zip to them because there's coffee in there.
A little caffeine.
Cold, strong coffee. Well, you could
Yeah.
make it with decaf, I suppose. But,
Sure.
I mean,
Tastes different.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
But I just use the little tea bags that are coffee bags because I don't make coffee. So I don't have a lot of coffee at home. So I buy those, and then I'll just I'll fill up the measuring cup.
Yeah.
And make the coffee and then let it sit because it's supposed to be cold coffee as well.
Sure.
So super strong, let it sit in there and it gets really strong and then it's really good stuff.
There you go.
So molasses cookies, I love molasses cookies. It was a tough lesson to learn that all molasses cookies are not
the
made
same,
equal. So if somebody tells you that, oh, this is a molasses, that doesn't mean that it's like yours. So warning on that one. So the Christmas sugar cookies actually came from my dad's side of the family. So it was my dad's grandma's recipe. And it's a very different from your typical because it's made all with brown sugar. There's no white sugar in them at all. And so they have a really rich flavor to them. They're made with lard, which can't always find. So, of course, you could sub shortening in there. But we make these mostly just at Christmas. I think I'm the only one that makes them
any other time
outside of Christmas in the family. I don't know that my cousin does. That's not true. That's not fair. My cousin will make them randomly. She bakes. She's a big baker. But at my direct family, nobody else makes them. But I make them for my dad every now and then or whatever. The funny thing is I make them with my mom. So it's my dad's family recipe, but she got it in the divorce. No, I'm just kidding. They all have the recipe, but we make it with my mom's. So it's a cookie day every year, and it's a big thing. And they're rollouts, so they take a hot set. It's not a drop cookie that is super fast or anything like that, but it's a lot of fun. And
nice.
We Some of us get really creative with our cookies, and other ones just slap the frosting on, which the frosting is at the bottom there. So you could, of course, just buy frosting. You don't have to use that frosting too, but they'll have a different flavor.
How fun.
But yeah, that's like the best cookie dough.
Yes.
Like just to eat the dough. Oh my gosh, the best stuff ever. I may have saved some occasionally and put it in the fridge so I could just have cookie dough.
Oh yeah, I mean,
on later days.
That's really good.
That might have happened at some point.
So if anybody would like these recipes, they can be found on our website. We did a cute little download, so you just check out like you do with anything else free.
Yep, they're just a free PDF.
Yep, it's right on the homepage under What's New, so anybody can download them. All 4 of them are in the same download, so
yeah.
You can
so
have
don't worry
those.
if your screenshot didn't come out. You can go and get it and print
it out,
print it out,
and not a problem. So we thought we would share those, and then maybe they can become part of your family.
Yeah. Does anybody here have a fantastic family recipe that they like? You got to talk about?
No.
No. Well, go home and try these, and then next year you can tell us if you hated them or not. No.
I always make the salads.
Yeah. What does that consist of?
Basically, egg, butter, flour, a little bit of anise if you want to add that. Or
Okay.
vanilla, and you make it in a press.
Okay.
We've done all different flavors.
Have you?
Yeah, we've done blueberry, lemon, strawberry, and a lot of peppermint's a good one.
I'm not a peppermint person.
It was so subtle, just like the anise.
Oh, okay.
It's subtle,
Nice.
Very nice.
Nice.
but you have to have the press.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Yep. There's some really neat recipes out there, and some things are really quick and easy, and then some of them not so much.
Right. Right.
So you have to plan and do those things.
Exactly.
So we've all probably given cookies or chocolates or random things of food that we've made to different people, whether it be a teacher or maybe your boyfriend's mom. I know back in high school we used to,
Right.
have that tray of whatever it was you made, and that's what you took over to their house, right?
Right.
But it's a nice little thing, and it's always nice to have a new something to try too. So I hope somebody has fun with some of that, and we just wanted to share.
Yes, absolutely. And if anybody online at home has a favorite cookie recipe that you want,
Yeah, you're more than welcome to send them to
share.
us because
Yeah.
we might like sweets.
you
Maybe.
can absolutely share. So the other thing that we really wanted to share today is some quick ideas because we're running out of time before Christmas, right? But if you're a crafter, then a lot of times one of the things that you think you need to do is you think that you need to have a handmade gift.
Yes.
So I know a lot of people would tell you that it's not 100%. It's not the gift. It's the thought that is behind the gift. And so if you can whip up something that is thoughtful and quick, that makes it that much better. So these are just a couple of ideas. If you're a sewer, pillowcases. Pillowcases are always a big hit with my family. So much so that I stopped actually putting the presents inside and just started gifting the pillowcases because everybody
With
was like,
random things in it.
yeah, and I would just pick a different theme every year. So it used to just be Christmas ones, but then I was like, oh, let's do summer and fall and whatever, because everybody always liked the feel of the pillowcases. But they make great present holders. So
Oh, for
if
sure.
you're giving gifts,
Like a big Santa sack.
like a big Santa sack,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Do you like to use flannel or cottons?
Well, I prefer to sew with cotton, but everybody loves to get the
Just the
flannel
flannel.
versions, especially if they're winter flavored. So
Snowmen and things. Yes.
yeah,
Okay.
or just even probably not gonna use flannel for like spring or
No?
summer.
Well, we got some really pretty flowers flannel.
We do.
I mean, you just never
Yes.
know.
I don't know that people want that on their pillowcase, though. Maybe you, because you're always cold.
I was going to say, have you met me? I currently have a heating pad shoved under my pillow, so you just never know.
You never know. And another thing that I find that people really like the look of, and it's really easy to make. We have some embroidered tea towels here, but like bathroom or hand or kitchen towels, you can like literally decorate one just by stitching on a strip
band of
a band of
fabric.
fabric.
Yeah.
It completely changes the look of your towel and makes it look fancy, and it's a great way to just give a simple gift. If I give cookies to somebody, I like to give
in a basket with a towel in it or
yes,
something.
with a nice little
for
towel,
sure.
and I usually just do something like that. It's super easy to stitch that up and way faster than trying to put stabilizer and embroidery and all of that stuff. Even though I
Absolutely.
love the look of embroidery on a towel,
Sometimes
this
you
is-
don't have the time, or
right.
maybe it's for a young man or something like that, and you need it to be more masculine looking and that kind of thing. I did some towels for my now son-in-law. Wasn't my son-in-law at the time, but he's very into American themed everything, and I
Yes.
picked up some American fabric. I did some strips, so it was just squares.
Yep.
And I did a couple different towels, and I made the strips and then cut those and sewed
Yep.
them down, and it was super fast. He loved them. I mean, it was
Yep.
they weren't frilly. They didn't have any ruffles. There wasn't some weird design that made him uncomfortable. It was just a simple towel, but
Right. Really makes
so
it
sometimes
super quick.
simple is better.
Yes.
For different people, some people are all about the bling and all about the got to have it all.
Exactly.
But did you want to show any of those towels? You want to go through it
I
first
was just
and
going to
then
talk about, because I got embroidered towels at the bottom. And then
Okay.
we're going to be talking a ton about sublimation this afternoon, and some of the things that there are blanks, and we'll talk a little bit more about that you can get like on Amazon and at Michael's and all kinds of different places. But there are magnets and ornaments and table runners and towels, and there are puzzles. So you can
there are puzzles.
like small little 20-piece puzzles that you can actually sublimate a picture on. So many fun things. Tucker's going to demonstrate how we made our little she made our little stuffies for us in a little while. So like if you want to give a gift of like a stuffed animal or something like that, these are so much easier to make than anything that we can do in our hoop, and so much quicker.
So quick, and they're so cute. And Shirley and I were petting my puppy. It's just such a wonderful thing.
That sounds so bad.
Okay, here, let me have the puppy. See, this is a real thing, and we were.
Yeah.
It's on Minky, so we were petting it.
Yes,
So
yeah.
not weird at all. Thank you for that.
Oh.
So, yeah, we were just saying how nice it is, and whether you're putting it on a poly or you could put it on a stretchy fabric, and
Exactly.
you could do all kinds of things. We happen to use Minky, but I mean you could use all kinds of different things too.
Exactly.
So,
and then if you do have time for embroidery, and this is one of those things, like I always tell people, like start early. Like if you think that you want to make mug rugs or zippered pouches or something like that, you can start. Remember, Christmas comes every year. So if you miss this time, if you're late, save it for next year. There's no harm in, giving something maybe you didn't quite finish and giving it to that person or a different person next year or whatever. But, you can make mug rugs, and you can make little keychains and zippered pouches and baskets and rope bowls, and I mean there's so many fun things that you can make in your thing, and then you can do embroidered towels and things like that.
And a lot of the things that we're talking about are pretty quick things. Sometimes when we do get into embroidery and we're like, oh yeah, that's got an applique, or that's got a different, we start adding to how long those things take us. And so in our brain it's like, oh, I'll be done with that in 15 minutes. And 2 hours later, after you prepped all the fabrics and you got all the things right, and it's like, oh, maybe it's not quite as fast as we thought.
Yes.
So
these were made by our Carolyn here. So she's been making these cute embroidered towels, and someone's going to ask me where she got these designs from. She got them from a variety of different places. Some of them are Anita Good designs, some of them are Dakota Collectibles. But you probably, if you're an embroiderer, you probably have a snowman.
The great thing about a towel, you can literally put just about anything on there.
It. Yeah.
There is not a specific guide. So, some of them are plain, some of them have stripes. These are really great. These are from the All About Blanks store with the little, and this is basically what we were talking about. Just add a little fabric strip, and how much fun and simple that is, but it can add so much to it.
Yep.
These are just absolutely darling. And once you have, a sticky or something like that you're using, you can hoop the sticky, slap the towel in, stitch, and move on to the next guys. So they can definitely be a very fast piece. I'm sure it will shock everybody to hear we sell towels here. So we actually do have some things if you needed something for that quick gift. Of course, you could go to lots of places and pick up different towels
Yeah.
and different things. Last year I picked up a reusable like paper towel, but they're not paper towel. They're
Right.
not paper, obviously. They're like
Unpaper
little
towels.
unpaper towels, you know. And I was like, oh, I'm going to stitch. I think I got 2 of the however many, and so they're
Right.
still right. They're all still together. I have great plans in my head that doesn't always come to fruition. But like you said, you don't finish, save it, and do it another time, you know. Not a big deal. So my point is, yes, we have them, but you can pick up stuff like this in lots and lots of places.
I mean, even at the drugstore.
Yeah, you know,
for the
they have a
holidays.
plain towel, plain red, plain green, you know, you can pick up stuff super easy. And when you add a little something, you know, it could be a monogram. And how long does a monogram take to,
Right.
you
Just a
know,
letter.
a
Even
letter,
Just a single letter.
just a single letter, you know, add a flower, don't add a flower, whatever, you know, you can really add a lot to something in a very little amount of time. And that personal touch generally means a lot to whoever you gave it to. So
And
this,
if it doesn't, don't make them anything
don't
next year.
don't do it next year. It's not,
That's a
you know.
one and done.
Yep. Yep. I used to joke, if you turn it over and look at my finishing,
Yeah.
that was the last gift you're gonna get.
There should be no comments either.
There should be no commentary given. Just thank you very much. No, I'm just kidding. But table runners, we've got things like that. I love these.
Yeah, blank.
You can do so many things with a blank. This happens to be a zipper pouch, so it's got a lining and everything in it. And it is it this one?
Yep.
This one is a really beautiful amethyst color. It's got the zipper already in there, so it's open. You stitch on the front, and then you fold the sides together and sew it closed, and you're done.
Yes, it's
I mean,
so
it's
nice.
super, super quick. So very easy and quick. These are new. I really like these.
They're very cute.
I really like these. They come in a couple different colors. I'm going to hold the red one up because maybe it'll have less glare on it.
Yeah. They come in red and black, teal, pink, and
Is there another one?
I feel like there's a 5th color. Teal, pink, red, black.
I know there's those 4. But anyway, they have a panel
Mhm.
that you stitch on, and then you fold that down and stitch it so you don't even see the back of your stitching
Yep.
and then you just fold it up and it becomes this square little tote.
Yeah.
It is so smart. So you can see there's a picture, maybe. Trying to find no glare. How's that? There's it folded up with stitching on it, but that is what it looks like before you put anything. So there's that little flap that sticks out the side. That's what you stitch on.
Mhm.
And then you fold it all together and boom, you
Yeah.
have this cute little thing. This could be your gift basket that you put your cookies or your
Exactly.
and a towel
We
or
did
whatever
these
in.
for the Halloween Kimberbell event.
We did.
And they just had black. And they
At
just
the
came out
time,
with
they only
all
had the
colors.
black. So they've just released some other colors
Mhm.
as well, which is probably, maybe they did black again and that's where we're getting a 5th color from. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm not coming up with another color in my head.
I
so
thought for some reason I was thinking there might be white, but I don't know.
not yet. There isn't.
So those are just some quick blanks that you could
Yep.
purchase or that you might already have at home because maybe you've been collecting Kimberbell blanks as they come out. Now I don't know. I'm
You
not,
don't.
I'm
You
sure
guys
I'm
don't
the
buy
only
things
one.
thinking you're going to do things and then set them down and forget to do
Right.
things.
I was I had a lot of time in the car recently. So I was
Just a little bit.
scrolling through Facebook and I was listening to someone say something about like, am I the only one that just hoards the Kimberbell stuff? Like, I need a zipper. I have a perfectly good Kimberbell zipper here, but I went out.
I
and
got to
bought
go buy
a
one because I don't want to
99
use up what I
zipper.
have because I might need that later. No,
So,
they're not the only ones that do that. So,
Yep. Oh,
yes.
Noodle Krugel, the kind that has cinnamon and sugar and is eaten cold. I don't think I've Connie said Noodle Krugel. Is that like it seems like maybe a German dish.
Maybe
Yes.
Google. I don't know. It sounds yummy.
Yes.
I would love to get a good recipe and try that too. If
Definitely.
anybody has one, shoot it over. Sounds like a great idea. So thank you, Carolyn, for sharing all of your towels. So sublimation is been a lot of what we've talked about recently just because of how quick it is. And so, you know, crafting in general is definitely, oh, Jewish. Okay,
Okay.
nice. There's
Definitely not German. Sorry.
nope. Okay. But time is it seems like we're getting less and less time
Goes
these
quicker,
days.
right?
I don't know if it's just me. Maybe it's just me, which lucky all of you if that's not the case. Are you getting,
I was going to, yep.
okay. So there are so many options of what you can do, and they're very, very quick, which is why we suggest that kind of a thing.
Okay.
But obviously, it's not the only way to craft. It's just one of the newer things that are out in the world. So these that we're going to show here in just a second are gifts that were given to one of our customers. Am I okay to use names? Okay. Well, I didn't want to out if I wasn't supposed to. So these were gifts for Shirley, and her niece Stephanie made them with a sublimation printer. And these I just absolutely adore. It doesn't have to be crazy, right?
Mhm.
So I'm going to hold that up just a little bit more and see if.
So these were sublimated, and one of the really cool things about the sublimation is that it infuses with the fabric. So like if you stretch
there's no,
you know, it
it
gives,
goes with
it's not like
a heat
vinyl
transfer vinyl
or
that doesn't move,
embroidery.
right?
Yeah, it's just becomes part of the garment.
And so this is like a
Little
zipper jacket,
jacket.
and it's just on the chest pocket area, if you will. Absolutely darling. Just a simple little thread spool with some flowers.
And this has got something on the front and the back.
Oh, I didn't see the back.
There's a little handmade thing.
Oh, that's so cute. So there's a little handmade symbol on the back of the neck, and it just says love with sewing things.
Notions.
Notions.
Yes.
That's the word I'm looking for. That's not the word I was looking for. What's the word I'm looking for? So that's just a t-shirt. Again, you don't want cottons when you're sublimating. So just throwing that out there, your polys and things like that, which can be hard to stitch on sometimes. This is a great way to add to some of those things.
Yes.
And I would like to note, these aren't black.
Right. They're not black, and they're also not white.
And they're not white. So it's, a lot of the things that we sublimate are white.
Right.
So it doesn't have to be white to make that work. How sharp is that?
Mouse pad.
That is really slick.
This one is also adorable.
Totally agree. Wish I had more of those. No. A day spent sewing is a good day. And we've got spools and bobbins and sewing machines. Very, very cute.
And this one is on a dark gray jacket, actually. And there is a black helicopter on there.
So how cool, how fun, something easy. Literally it prints and then it takes you a minute or so to press it on.
Yep.
And very, very straightforward. So we have a few things that we were going to show with sublimation. The other thing, am I going to screw up if I talk about this?
No.
Okay. I didn't know if I was going to mess your plan up.
I don't have a plan.
Oh, I like no plan. Sometimes that makes everything so much better. And you can't mess it up, right? So the other thing that is new, and it is actually a pretty quick project, you can do these very, very fast, are these really fun punch needle kits. So I know there's a ton of glare. This is one of the new ones that were just released a week ago. This is called the Shivering Snowman. He's got a 3D little ball on the top of his hat and on the little bottoms of the hat down here. We've got a couple different types of stitches. We have buttons and we also have fabric. So if you see the punch needle plus, that means it has embellishment and fabric versus just yarn being used. So that plus part is the embellishment aspects,
Yep.
which is kind of nice. They give you literally everything that you need in a kit. So I pulled out a little bit of it. So this is actually the hoop that it's going to be used. You get the fabric that actually punch on. You get the punch tool. You get the punch threader. I'm making a lot of noise. I'm going to stop talking for half a second here. All right, so here's the punch tool and the threader with how you actually thread this tool. That is the image
Little
without
less
all of the glare on there. And you get a couple different size hand needles and a threader for those. And that is for if you're doing floss or something like that, that you can do that added lovely handwork that we all love so very much, but it's all very simple. And if you don't know how to do any of this, it's okay. There's a QR code on all of your patterns that give you the ability to just click on there and it sends you straight to the list of videos that walks you through each different type of stitch that's going to possibly be done here, as well as how to thread your needle, how to get started, how to tie things off, all of those things. It's all spelled out for you. And it's not one big 3-hour video that you have to start and stop to figure out. They're all labeled. So I need to learn how to do the flat stitch. I can watch that video and it's, like 10 minutes-ish or something like that. And we're good from there. So this particular one has a hoop. Some of them come loaded with like a wood frame and it's already been stretched and stapled to the wood frame.
Mm-hmm.
This one is going to be using the hoop. So you get your fabric that you would put, and this isn't stretchy, but it's flexible. So it goes around and there's a notch that it sits in. So it's, there's a video on how to do this too. So
Do you need to press it?
probably,
Okay.
I just was going to show real quick that you kind of work your way around as you're working that, and it kind of pops into that. Thank you. And there you have super complicated hoop process, right? You don't need to worry about this part. You're going to just be working in the center here. There is a pressing mat that will fit inside there. So for instance, once I have that pattern and I need to put my fabric in place, I can put the mat underneath and press and actually have a firm area to press onto. So you get the water soluble pen. You literally get everything that you need to do all of these things. So it's very well done.
Right.
We didn't know what we were getting when we were asked to be a test place, and we were like, heck yeah, what are we doing? So I took one home and I made one. We've got Tucker made this one.
Yeah, don't look.
And again, the hoops either come with or it comes with the frame and everything like that too. So everything that you need, the pattern is part of it. So you'll cut that out using either a light box or the flashlight from your phone. You're going to draw right on here using your pen, and you're going to cut that out and put it underneath. I don't know if you can even see it without the light a little bit. So with a little bit of light back there, super easy. You trace the line so you know where you're putting what stitches, and you follow the pattern. And it literally says, step 1, cut on the dashed lines and tape it behind your cloth. So you
These are
cut,
hard instructions.
I don't know, it's a tough step, right? You cut the circle out and you pop it behind and you tape it in place, and then the next piece is tracing the So it literally it doesn't start in the middle. It literally starts at the very beginning with everything that you need.
I know we all
to
have
do.
light boxes because we all got sucked into the Caterpillar
ones,
years
yes.
at the
So,
sewing expo.
but if you don't have a light box, or you're like, I don't even know what a light box is, let
Right.
alone have one. If you turn your flashlight of your phone on, and I'm going to flip it underneath here so nobody gets killed with, you can see a lot easier that area, and I'm holding it really close and we're really far away from the camera, but you can see all of those different line areas and make it really, really easy to draw them through there. So that's what the light box is recommending. And what I did before is, of course, when it's taped in place, you can see most of it. And then when you hold the light over it, you can really see. The paper was pretty far away.
Right.
So as soon as it's taped in place,
Yep.
then you draw all of your lines and then you start punching. It's very therapeutic. I mean, you really get to stab things. It's kind of nice. As far as the tool, sorry, I didn't mean to have that light super bright there. As far as the tool goes, like I said, the threader is part of
What you get.
So you don't have to worry about it. It is sharp, just FYI. You don't want to really push your finger into the tip because it might hurt a little bit. But this is the tab that you hold, and basically you feed through the bottom. So there is a tip and it is angled, so it's cupped. You're going to come through the bottom. My hands work super well. So through the bottom of that hole, but then you need to come back through here. So they even give you the tip, if you cover the top, which means it can't poke out the top, and then feed it through that hole on the back, it literally comes right out the other side.
Nice.
And then you put your yarn through there and pull it back through, and boom, you've threaded. It's literally that simple. So it's very, very straightforward. And again, you get instruction for everything.
So we have somebody asking what the plus means. The plus means that there is actually fabric applique in the project.
And embellishment.
And embellishments. If it doesn't have plus on it, then it would be more
just
like
yarn, which is what that one is.
Like
so
this is a non-plus.
This is a non-plus. Yep.
Because there's no other, it's just yarn.
Yep. So I would draw this entire pattern onto the hoop, and then I'm going to guess, I was going to say, as soon as everything's traced, the first thing that you do is you place your piece right in there, and it's pre-cut and it's pre-fused. So you literally just peel the back off, you'll set it in the lines, and you iron. And again, if you have that little mat or you have another one, doesn't matter, you know, but like the little foam, this is not the Kimberbell one. The Kimberbell one, I'm sure it will shock you all, is teal. Thank you. But it is this big, so it fits inside of those. So it gives you a place to actually press down to, so that you have the ability to put those on.
Yep.
So they did a really good job of making sure everything that you needed. They don't give you a ton of extra yarn, but I had yarn left of all colors when I finished the one that I have at home. But they do recommend in the instruction videos and everything, you know, don't start with the super long tail, pull it back so that you aren't wasting a whole bunch of yarn when you're going through, you know, again, it's very, very clearly detailed on how to do everything and all of the different stitches. It's and she did a really nice job, I thought. And I liked that I didn't have to watch a super long, crazy video with everything. I could just pull out the part that I needed and just watch that little bit.
Nice.
And then if you weren't, for whatever reason, sure about what you were doing, you can watch that one again and not have to, again, find the spot and travel through a whole long list of things. So you may or may not need both sizes of needles. I know Tucker said she ended up using just like a tapestry, double-ended tapestry needle. She didn't end up using this. She found that easier for what she was doing. But you have it if you need it.
Yeah.
So one, if there's embroidery floss somewhere in there, you've got floss. It comes with the kit. So everything that you need is in here, which is really great. I think they did a really nice job with this. So that is punch needle plus. Let's get loopy.
Let's get loopy.
Let's get loopy. So you can see the different features. There's the 3D little balls, the fabric with the snowflake buttons that are ironed on. So lots of
And
detail.
there's eyeballs in there.
There's
somewhere,
eyeballs
too.
in there as well. Yep. So you got little buttons for that, and those are together. There's the
And
buttons.
then you have a cute little.
And you have a bag you
bag.
can use for whatever, you know, a little project bag or something like that. And depending upon the size, there's two different size bags. So depending upon what you're looking for. And they're going to run between like $37 and $50.
Yep.
Somewhere in that range. So again, I think they did a really nice job. And if you sat down, you could easily do this in a couple of hours, depending on how large it is. But I mean, I did a little bit here and a little bit there. So I did like, I'm just going to do this section. And then I went back and did other
More,
things.
yeah.
But so it took me a period of a couple of sessions, but again, none of my sessions were very long. You could do it while you're watching TV. You don't have to count stitches or anything like that. If you're a knitter or a crocheter, you don't have to count and pay attention to, you know, how many did I put here or anything like that.
Right.
So it's very easy, which is a relaxing when you don't have to do all that kind of thing. So very fun. And we do have a sample here again. And if you have questions, be happy to help if you are working on those. The ones that are available are on our website. You can't just get them anywhere. So we're lucky enough to be a shop that does have those. So let us know if we can help.
We have a couple. So Kathy is the one who won the sewing machine that we gave away last week, and she received it, and she just wanted to say thank you. And she's recovering from some foot surgery, and
Yes.
sounds like it's going well. So that is really good.
Good.
And
Congratulations. I'm glad it made it to you safe.
Diane is asking, the wallflower complete sets have not been sent out yet. They will go out just as soon as we are completely finished with those, but probably not before Christmas.
Nope.
So, and then we had someone ask about the punch needle kit plus again. So, anybody here have any questions? Okay.
Did we
so-
answer her question?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did.
Okay.
I said pluses.
Plus is stuff.
Stuff,
Yes. Yep.
extra stuff.
Okay.
All right. So I think, should we tag Tucker in?
I think we
talk
need to
about
bring
that?
her in and put her
Yep.
little booty to work.
Tucker.
Turn off my flashlight while I'm thinking of it. Don't blind anybody. I'll just swap this with the one I took home.
There you go.
We don't have to. So while she's working her way there, we talked a little bit about petting my puppy here. So this is my little guy. His name is Jack. So this is literally a photograph
You're gonna talk.
of Jack, and
What you did.
and this is kind of our stress puppy and kitty, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, come on down. I can scooch in. We can all be over here. So basically anything to hear is going to be on the camera.
Okay.
All right. So that little guy next to Jack is Dexter. And Dexter is Caitlin's favorite little puppy dog in the
Aw.
world. So we thought maybe we would make one of Dexter. So you want to tell us? I sent you this picture.
Yes.
And then what'd you do?
So I removed the background. There is a bunch of different ways to do this. We personally use a program called Canva. There is just straight up websites that you can do it. Apple and iPhone, that kind of stuff also has a remove background. Or you could just go in MS Paint and erase if you wanted to. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. We do this mainly, I was actually just talking to Carolyn about this. So the image on the actual photo that Lisa had sent ends. I don't know how well you can I don't have a pointer. So it ends. The actual image ends right here with his foot. So when we go to sew this as a pillow pet, if we had the background there, when you went to curve around the foot, you're going to get a weird white spot here. So we remove the background so that you can kind of take the liberty as you want.
I don't know if that's
Yep. So you can kind of see how I actually extended his foot here a little bit. Don't know if you noticed that or not.
I actually did.
Yep, that's a fake foot.
That's a fake little toe there. You got an extra toe. No, I'm just kidding.
But had we not removed the background, it would have looked a little weird on the pillow. So we just remove it. It just makes it flow nicer. Obviously, if you wanted to do more of a square and make a square pillow, you wouldn't need to remove the background. You could just have the background there and then just trim where you needed to.
Right. But we want a shape pillow.
We do
So
want a
we
little
got
pillow
rid of
back.
all of the extra stuff.
We did.
Yes.
So you can have a nice little shape here.
Perfect.
And you could just make a square pillow as well with this. It just looks funner to go like with the curve. Because like she would look so much better. Oh, I'm sorry, I took her out of it would look
okay.
weird.
We do this all the time, right?
It would look weird if she just had like a random white spot here. So when you follow the contour, it looks
It gives you a
cuter.
little extra
It
something.
does.
Yes. Absolute.
Yeah.
So what now?
Well, now after we printed it, so I removed the background and then I just straight up printed it. As you can see, I don't know. I haven't been listening. I've been helping customers, so I'm not sure if you talked about this. The coloring doesn't look right. It's
a little faded.
Yeah, it's always going to look a little wrong, but that's fine. It's going to look fine afterwards.
Right.
You have to trust the process.
You have to
do.
trust the process. The first time you sublimate when you print, it's going to be like, I don't think that came out right. But one of the nice things about ours is, first of all, you don't have to worry about that. And second of all, it mirror images automatically for you.
I don't know if you can see how it's cut out a little bit. So the good thing with Brother sublimation paper is it's
that
very
corner.
hard. It's
That
very
corner
hard
right
to show
there is
you.
a little notch.
So sublimation paper has a right side and wrong side. In normal sublimation printer, it's very hard to feel which is which. So Brother actually put a little notch out of it, and this notch goes in a specific, like it tells you where to put it in the printer, so it's never wrong. So it just makes it really easy.
Kind of stinks when you do it wrong.
Yeah, because you waste the whole paper, waste the whole ink.
All of the ink, and you're
So.
like, and maybe what you put it on, because you're going to get a little bit on, but it's not going to be what you are actually. So it's a really nice feature with the Brother printer for sure.
Yep. And now that I've done that, we are going to go over, well, actually, some important, not important, but important things with the Minky. So Minky has a pile. An animal, if you have an animal, you'll understand their fur grows in a specific way. So human hair grows down. Animal fur typically grows from the nose down. So I like to make sure, if you didn't know this, animal fur grows here and goes down. So when I do pillow pets, I like to make the fur go in the correct way. So it actually feels like you're petting your dog.
Well, and then when you pet your puppy,
It looks right and it feels right. It feels more fluffy. So with Minky, you can tell which way is wrong. Like if you go up, I don't know how well, it's a white dog. Let me try on her.
you can see a little bit that
You can
it
kind of
like,
see.
it's kind of like same thing happens when you pet your animal the opposite direction. Their
Yeah.
hair kind of stands on end. Same thing happens
Yep.
when you do this. So we're gonna
Make sure it's
pet
going
the
the right
Minky
way.
to make sure it's
Yes.
going the right way before we press to it. So
Yes.
the heat press is just off camera here because there was just way too many things. So we totally trust you to not put things upside down and
That's why
backwards
I'm not
and
doing it.
which is why we brought Tucker in today. So we have wonderful sublimation results.
You also want to, a big thing, depending on your press, is heat tape. I have it over there. I didn't bring it with me. But that way it doesn't shift. When you use something like an iron or something that you're moving for heat press wise, you can shift the image and that will cause it to be
You're
blurry.
gonna get a shadow
you can't
and
see it.
yep.
Yeah, you can
And
see
then-
the little line in.
Yep. If you use a press that is not the full sheet, so there's a variety of different sizes of presses. The press size that I used for these guys wasn't the full 11 inches. So you can kind of see on her where the Minky shifted when I went to press down on the press the second time. The press that we have here is the
It'll
size
take
of a
the
piece
whole
of paper.
piece, right.
So it's fine. But if you have a smaller press, that is something to be aware of. We use we use a different brand. At home, both Sarah and I own a Cricut. They're sold everywhere. They're very nice. You can get different brands from Amazon, all that kind of stuff.
I got
But-
mine off of Amazon. I don't have
Yeah.
this one at home either.
No, I would definitely recommend the full sheet size if you're wanting to do this. The smaller ones are cheaper, but honestly, it's like $100. It's a really good pair to have.
It's a good investment
It
to buy
is.
it once instead of, I really like doing this. I want a bigger one now.
Yes, because now
Spend
I
the
have
extra little bit and
smaller
get
one.
Yep, for sure, for sure. All right, so do you want to go press
Yep,
that
I'm
and
gonna
come
go
back?
do that.
Okay.
Do you want this for now?
Yep.
Okay. Let me.
That way, in case you say bad words.
I mean, if
Bad words. Slander.
Who, me? Never happened. So we talked about there being blanks as an available thing. So one of the things that we found where we really like these little bags, and I've got a design here. It says, "I'd rather be sewing." And basically, I printed that on the 8.5 by 11 sheet, and we can set that, tape it in place, and then put that through either your press or iron if that's what you have, whatever you have available. Temperature and time is important with sublimation.
Yes.
So little things to keep in mind. So that is how that would basically go. How did we do this? Because I'm sure somebody at home's like, hey, wait a minute. How did you do that? So Artspira is the app that we use. And I don't know if you guys, I think that's halfway decent, yeah? All right, so here's the Artspira app. You've got photo, ad, and text in here. I'm gonna hit add, which is that positive thing. At the top, it says camera roll. I'm gonna tap my camera roll because that's where I want it to come from. And then I just email myself whatever it is that I want to pull in. And I put it in my, I hit download in my email and it shows up in here. So This is a sheet, and same thing as the last
Yeah.
time, so I won't print that. But when you tap it, you'll get the blue box around that, and then you can edit the size. We can also rotate and edit size and everything there. So I don't know if you guys can see through the black there. It says I'll be in my office. It's got a sewing machine and some cute little decor things. And it's a little bit longer and skinnier. And that would go on something like this. So you can do glassware. You can do all kinds of things. This is a blank that was specifically purchased for sublimation. So it's got a little bamboo lid. There's some straws in the box that it came with. And to do something like this, you would need a press that is circular. And they have lots of different forms of that as well. So from here, I would simply send this to the printer. And then I would wrap, I would use heat tape to keep it from shifting and keep everything wrapped and then put it in my press.
Yep.
So again, you can have lots of fun with different pieces. And I literally just email myself a photo and pull it in. It's that simple, which is what I did with those. So we've talked about ornaments a little bit in the past. The ornament that we have, I liked the one that had a little top piece to it. I have no idea if I think we still have to peel.
Yep.
I didn't
I'm
do
working
anything
on
with
that
that.
now.
So what we found as we were starting, it was really hard to see, am I even? Am I straight? Am I crooked? What is it actually going to look like? Because I can't see through the ornament. So we actually just put this on a piece of paper. I drew a line around it with an ink pen, scanned it into my scan and cut, made an echo line, made myself a template. So this is literally just an outline that matches the size of my ornament perfectly. So I can now set that on here. I could get measuring tools out if I really wanted to. I don't want to. And tape my template in place so it's not going to move. Then I can put my ornament
I think there's still plastic on that.
inside my template. From here,
This one has no.
both sides?
Both sides are clear.
Okay. I was like, which side do I use?
All
all
clear.
all clear. Okay. So a lot of your blanks, which these are ornament blanks, a lot of those are What were we saying before we got started? Is it working? No. Would it work? Would it be normal if it were? Yeah, so I can use a template to make sure everything's right where I want it. You want to make sure that you peel your coating off. A lot of these things that are like an MDF will have a coating on them. Obviously, if you get a mouse pad, there's not a coating on a mouse pad. But things that are like this are very common, and they put that on there so there's no scratches or anything like that when you actually go to do that. So now that this is in place, I'm just going to move my template off. And I am going to use heat tape to make sure that stays where I wanted it. All right. That's sure. Phenomenal. So I am going to tape that down, and then I'm going to put another one at the bottom because I don't want any twisting. Because anything that twists, of course, could give me a blurred or a shadow. So we want everything to stay right where we put it.
Do you know what's really good about this one? Is even if you were upside down, it wouldn't matter.
It wouldn't really matter, would it? So, and now I'm going to remove my template, and I can use that for the next one. So I could prep as many as I wanted. That really, can I have that?
This?
Yeah.
Yep.
And so now I'm going to just cut this out. I still want to be gentle. I don't want to dislodge anything because that tape it's not like duct tape. It could pop off. And then we would put that in with the amount of pressure and whatnot. So we were talking, we think that these would look really great on both the front and the back. So that's why I did it like this, is so that we've got a front and a back of the same thing. So it'll have the same thing on both sides of that. So
And in theory, we should be able to do both sides separately.
yes, yes. There's shouldn't have any real issues.
Oh, sure.
It's
Okay.
hot.
Hot.
It's hot, hot, hot. All right. So hot and sublimation. You don't want to have other things with sublimation ink and then put a hot item on top of it, because the reaction will start to happen and you'll get little bits transferred. So you always want to make sure that you have a clean workspace and you don't have sublimation. So here's our paper. Here's our Minky. Oh, look at that cute little puppy.
And you can see how much more vivid.
It is very vibrant.
Yes.
On here, where you saw before, it didn't have a lot of bang for your buck. Now, a lot of people are like, hey, there's still a lot of ink on there. Why don't I go run another one of those, right? You do not want to double fuse, because there's not enough there to give you a vibrant image. If you really want the distressed look, it might give you might, and I say might very, very loosely. We actually have a sample somewhere around here. We did that on purpose so that you guys could see. It's floating around the store somewhere. We have so many things in so many places right now. But this is absolutely beautiful, and it's petable.
Yep.
So, so what do we do now?
Well, we put a backing on
We
it.
hand it back to Tucker? No.
And yeah, then Tucker magically sews it. So you would put your backing on it, right?
I can show you the tracing.
Yeah, I was just going
Okay.
to say, do you
Yep.
want to do your, I got a blue, would that work?
Oh, whichever. I use.
Oh,
pencil
that's not
usually.
blue. I thought you said you used it a friction.
You can.
You used it.
Why
Why did you hear that great English? I thought you used it.
If you're gonna use friction, you're gonna want to make sure it's cool.
Yes. Otherwise, it would definitely disappear.
It's got 8 seconds if you just want
I
to
did.
pull it out
Yep.
when it's
Don't
time.
burn yourself.
So,
Beep, 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 beep. Okay. So you guys can kind of see that a little bit. There's a darker shadow in the center.
you
What do you
can
get?
either. So there's 2 ways. You can kind of eyeball it. You can also.
It's down there.
Did it fall?
It's in the
Oh.
not.
All right. Just in case anybody's wondering, Sarah should not sublimate.
Don't worry about that.
We'll get that out in a little bit. So what do you got going?
So you can use. Let me not flash everyone real quick. I can see this.
Yes.
But if you I have bad vision. So if you have even worse vision than me, which would be surprising, but it happens, you can use a light box, a iPad very gently, or just the camera on your phone. And I turned it off. And so if you do that, you can kind of see, I don't know if you can really see it on the camera, unfortunately. You can there you go. So you can kind of see it a little bit better.
Is that white enough? I don't
You can
think
try
that's,
that one.
I don't know that that's got enough light, but
Nah.
okay.
But it's fine. I can see it, but this is just something to help. If you need a little bit more contrast, you can put your flashlight underneath of it just to see it a little bit better. And so all I do is I take either a pencil or a iron off heat erase type of pen, and I will trace about an inch away from the animal. Animal is the correct term, but it's not the animal I wanted. The shape, the dog, the pet. And so obviously, like with his little legs here, I could have gone all the way in, but I'm not going to because I don't want to. But see, like his tail, since it's so thin, his other foot, not his tail, is a little,
larger.
yes, is a little hard to see. So I'm just checking where it is.
There's our ornament.
Look, I didn't ruin it.
So we've got snowflakes and diamonds and little silver string of lights, maybe. I don't know, little ball. Anyway, so what does that remind you of? Because did we bring that over here?
I think it's still actually on the front counter.
Okay.
So now you can kind of see I've just traced along about an inch from the actual design. And that way it's giving me a seam allowance. I'm going to stitch along this line. So what I do is I take my second sheet of Minky. Once again, I make sure it goes in the correct direction. So it's going to go down. And then I just place him on top of here. And then I don't have any pins over here, so I'll have to go get some pins.
Yeah, well, that's what
But
we don't
I
really have over
typically
here.
just pin really
Pin
the
around.
corners.
Mhm.
Yeah, you don't need to really pin in there. And just make sure you give yourself 2 little places. That way you
don't
know.
sew it all the way around because
Yeah.
you need to stuff it, and then you'll need to sew that seam closed.
Yep. So I just do it like that. And then you guys want me to go sew this?
Sure.
Okay, I will go sew this. I will hand this back off. Do we have any polyfill here? I don't think we do.
I don't know. We got batting. I mean,
Batting.
don't sew it closed batting, but
Yeah.
for effort
Stuff
or
it in.
for
Okay,
for
I'll bet.
appearances and whatnot. So every year,
You can show this too.
thanks. Every year for the last, I don't know how many, quite a few, we have done this little holiday celebration, and we generally have a project that is an available freebie through the month of December, and then we'll leave it up, but it'll have a charge after the first of the year. So this year, we designed this cute little ornament. I say we, I came up with the idea, and then Tucker ran with it, which is fantastic. So it comes in a couple different options. You have the ability to do a 3D standalone piece. So what's the word that I'm looking for?
Freestanding?
That's the one. That's what it is. Yep. Or you could stitch it directly on something. So it could be on a towel. You could have like a couple of these doing this along the bottom of a towel or whatever. And it does have the applique
So
placement, traditional
machine
applique
applique.
or freestanding piece
Yes.
that you can actually make ornaments from. So with that,
With this, you'll need some sort of material that isn't going to fray on the outside.
Correct.
We used felt.
yep, you could use vinyls, you could use whatever,
Yeah.
it doesn't really matter. And this was designed to
Correspond with it.
correspond
Because-
with that.
And what we have done over the past, I don't know, I think 6 or so
It's
years.
been quite a few.
Is we've always tried to do one project at least 2 different ways.
So that different options are available.
Yep.
So we had like a scan and cut and a sewing version or however it happened to be.
Embroidery
So
or
this
sewing and
this
vice
year
versa.
we've got 2 different ways from embroidery, and we also have the pressable, which technically you could do that same thing on fabric with
Yep.
the print moda as well and,
Yes.
and wrap something or
Yep.
or sew it
Yeah,
on.
this
or,
is basically an SVG file.
It is-
So
Yep,
you could
it's
use it
basically
for
a
anything.
simple PDF kind of
Right.
thing. So this is the original. We talked about how much ink is drawn off, so you can really see the difference of what has been taken out of here. Sublimation is truly a chemical reaction that's happening. So it literally takes and it turns that, and it goes directly into a gaseous state
Yep.
without going into through the liquid. And it literally is absorbed directly in whatever product that you're putting it onto, whether it's a t-shirt, whether it's a towel, whether it's an ornament, doesn't matter. The same process is happening. So if this is what we basically had in there and it was flipped upside down, it's like this, you need to be prepared for the amount of what's called overspray. And so this is just parchment paper, and it absorbed all of the excess that came off and was chemical happening, right? The reaction that was happening around there, rather than having that transfer into your heat press or your ironing pad or wherever it is that you're doing. So parchment paper is really great for this kind of thing. If you don't have a lot of overspray or no overspray, then you could easily use a Teflon sheet, but a Teflon sheet will get damaged. If you have this over and over again, you'll have that ink basically in there and it can transfer into other projects. So these, you can buy these sheets like in the kitchen, like with your aluminum foil and all of that. They're just sheets you can pull. They're just parchment paper, or you could get a roll and pull off and cut that too. That would work as well. So just little tips of how you can make those things work. So, yeah, there's so many fun things you can do. So, what else do we have? Are we about there?
I think that is about it for our holiday stuff. We could talk a little bit about, I feel like we should address the Avenires and the Radiances.
Yeah, let's talk. There's a
and
lot of
the
information.
Kimberbell digital
Digital
for
dealer.
next year.
Yeah, let's do that.
So if you are on social media and you have been looking at trading in your machine, or maybe you've already put a deposit down and you've seen some of the stuff about the Baby Lock Radiance and the Brother Avenir, which is the new top of the line model machines come out. There's been a little bit of a delay. They've been working through the kinks of the software.
Yep.
The machine itself is fine, but it's a software issue. And in perfect fashion, really, this was like a like it kind of just imploded on us. So almost always we receive the Brother product first because Brother makes both Brother and Baby Lock, and then we receive the Baby Lock a little bit later. Not usually a ton
Within
later,
a week,
but a little
usually.
bit
But I
later.
mean, it's
But there was a major software update that needed to be done on the machines.
and it was released on December 16th, which was Monday.
Yes, Monday. And so what happened at the very last minute is that Brother decided that they were going to not release the machines until this first update has been done.
Yep.
And so they held everything. And Baby Lock decided that they were going to trust that their dealers were going to
Install said update
before they gave the machine to the
the
people.
customer.
That is not what happened.
It's not really what happened. It's not really what happened at all.
So
So people got their machines and everything wasn't working smoothly because this update hadn't been installed. So
Right.
if you've been reading, I got this, I traded in my machine and I got this machine that now doesn't work like it's supposed to.
right,
Well,
that's true.
technically that's true, but there
Yes.
was a reason for that. Unfortunately, I certainly have been getting a lot of pressure and a lot of phone calls, which is fine. I understand you guys, some of you ordered your machine over 6 months ago. So, I mean, we totally get
Father's
it.
Day weekend we started.
We're right there with you. So we totally get it. But some people let those machines go out early.
Yes.
And that wasn't what we agreed to as a dealer.
No.
So,
And we
I-
haven't gotten the Brother branded versions because of that, because they chose
Right.
to
So
not ship those out.
people
until-
in Japan that actually were designing and creating all of these things are in the Brother warehouse.
Yes.
And because they work for Brother, they don't work for Baby Lock. They weren't in the Baby Lock warehouses. They were in the Brother warehouses. And they basically said, we're going to manage this.
Mm-hmm.
And they put a pin in it. And so we've been waiting because the update is being installed by Brother instead of having it shipped and having us do it,
Right.
which is
So
fine.
They're coming.
They are. So
Uh,
they started shipping on Monday. They started packaging once they got the updates in. As they've been updated, they started shipping out machines. So
Right.
they are coming. They should be here, I don't know, like Christmas. So-
because we're closed for a couple of days,
We are.
it is very likely that the Brother machines will not be here before Christmas.
No, I at this point, I don't expect it. I mean, anything happens. That shipped like yesterday. So
Right.
who knows?
Who knows?
But as soon, if you are someone who put a deposit on a machine, as soon as we have a actual tracking, it's on the road, I will call you. One of us will call you.
Yes.
And we will tell you, it is shipped. This is when we're expected to see it. Would you like to make an appointment? And
Yes.
we'll go from there. So as soon as we hear something, you will hear something, I promise. And I appreciate all of your patience. It has been, it's been a ride. So, and we understand we're right there with you. So,
Yes. And we 100% want you to have the machine as soon as you can possibly have it, but we do
we
not
want it to work
want-
like it's supposed to
yes,
work.
we do
So-
not want to give you a machine that is
possibly
still
going to give
needs
you a heartache.
to be
'cause-
updated for this.
Yep.
So we will make sure, we will open the machines. We will make sure that the machines are in good working order before anybody goes home with one.
Absolutely.
You know that Lisa and I are a no BS kind of shop here. So we're not going
Full
to,
transparency.
we're not going to give you something that we wouldn't want to take ourselves. Oh, but it's so cute.
So here's Dexter.
Yep.
Oh my God, he's so cute. So did you put batting in it?
Batting in the leftover Minky that I cut
Okay, so this doesn't have a polyfill in it, which would make it a little smoother from a
Yeah.
stuffing perspective, but it actually is pretty dang good.
Yeah.
And then there's that little side area here that will need to be sewn once we get actual stuffing in there. So,
So cute.
this is how you make a pillow pet.
Yeah.
And if you use Minky, you can pet your puppy or your kitty.
Oh, I thought I closed it.
So yeah, that is
So cute.
so cute.
Thank you.
So
thank
we're
you,
gonna,
thank you.
if you're here, you get to pet the puppy. So that is a very simple and straightforward gift, which I am absolutely positive. She might even cry. I hope she doesn't cry like in a bad way. I hope it's not an ugly cry, but yeah, we'll have some fun with that. So
So cute, so cute, and
Yeah.
really so easy. I mean, that was created while you guys were sitting here,
yeah,
and
And the colors are very nice.
and the
and
colors,
the colors
are
are
very,
so vibrant.
very
They
vibrant.
really, really are. You know, and you can see the original photo part, or not photo, print,
Print.
was definitely not as vibrant as the finished product. So don't let that fool you. It's super easy to think, oh, I did something wrong.
Yeah,
or,
you got to
know,
trust the process.
You absolutely have to trust that process for sure. So the last thing, I know, it's gorgeous. His tongue
Yes.
looks 3D. I know, isn't it great? He always had his tongue out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could
We-
probably like, if you really wanted it to be 3D, you could probably put a little bit of stuffing in there and then like stitch around it.
And give it a little
Give
pop.
a little pop there.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
little detailed stitching.
But yeah, so the last thing that we just real quick to throw out there before we wish everybody happy holidays and safe travels and all of those good things
Yes.
is the Kimberbell Digital Dealer for 2025. So it is definitely,
It is a year project. It is not a monthly
it is,
project.
it's not what we've been doing for the last few years. This is a mystery quilt that is flower themed. You can see the color scheme, so you can have a really good idea of what it is if you would like to possibly participate. Our original setup, we put on there that you would basically buy all of the designs and all of the fabric and the embellishment. Here's the whole bundle. Here's one price for the whole year, and then you'll have everything off the get.
Right.
And then we had some people request, well, can't I just get the designs? I have so much fabric. I would like to use my fabric. So we
Right.
did put the designs only.
Yes.
It's in the same listing. You just toggle down.
And I have since had people ask if they could purchase the designs and the embellishment kit. So what I might do is I might add the embellishment kit as a separate purchase, in case somebody, for two reasons, maybe you want to make a second one.
for sure.
You
Yep.
know, if you like it.
we will get that added. That's a
that
great point for
will
sure.
be added in there, and I hadn't thought about that, but we had somebody in the other day asking about it,
For
and
sure.
I was like,
Absolutely.
so
you know.
we will add that. It's $213
and change.
54
It's-
cents.
it's
or
a
some
weird number.
if you want to do everything, which is a steal because it's basically $120 for just the designs, and then the embellishment kit is, I
35,
feel it's $35
40.
or $40 ish. So you're not paying a ton for the fabric. So, but it is all of the fabric to do the top, the binding, and the backing. The only thing that you will need is your thread, your stabilizers, and your batting.
Yep.
But
But all the fabrics,
all the
all the
fabrics-
embellishments, and the designs are included for just over $200. Which,
Yep.
if you've done Kimberbell projects before, you know that's
Yep.
That's
And there
pretty
are
good.
background quilting
So-
designs being provided from Kimberbell each month.
Yep.
So
We had somebody ask, well, do I have to, can I do it without those? And absolutely. So
Mm-hmm.
if you wanted to make the individual pieces and either do your own quilting or quilt later or
Yeah.
however, you can certainly make those adjustments. Our plan is that we will talk about the basic steps of how to do the quilt square, maybe month 1 and 2, and then we won't repeat all of that information over and
Right,
over
right.
again. We'll just talk about what the technique is and how you make sure you get the best
Right.
from
And
that
we
technique.
will definitely do some sort of video. We have not actually made a hard rock decision on whether or not we're going to do like a live in the morning again, or if we're going to just do it and then just send you a link to what we're doing. But we do promise that we will have it there. Sharon, I'll put the link up there. Give me just a second to do that. She said she can't find
Yep,
it
I
on the
gotcha.
website.
So it has a multitude of different techniques. We're talking fringe, 3D flowers. There was some sequins. There's buttons. There's all different types. So it's not going to be the same thing over and over again. It will definitely be something new. You do make some of the blocks more than once.
Yep.
So, you're going to see this flower up in the left corner and you'll also see it in the bottom middle or whatever. I don't have any specifics, but that is part of it. You can see the chart of what block goes where and all of that. And again, the colors are listed there so you can get a vibe of what it would look like. You just don't have this specific piece until we get closer.
Yes. And Rebecca is asking, does that include the quilting designs? Yes. Kimberbell is providing the background quilting designs for all of the project pieces. They are not specifically coming from us this time, but they are being provided with each month's block. So there will be something that's corresponding. And we haven't seen the whole finished, we haven't seen any of the blocks stitched out, to be perfectly honest with you. All we have seen is basically what you get when you look at our little, when you look at the listing. I know that some quilt shops did see the actual, we didn't go to Quilt Market.
We didn't see the whole thing, so we have no clue. We did get, while you were gone, we have the files for January, so
Okay. It's on our list to do.
it's on the list.
Yes.
Trying to get everybody's machine that they ordered and whatnot has been
Yes.
the top priority for me, trying to get all of those things turned back around
Yeah,
and all
but
that good
I think
stuff.
what we will eventually try to do is the same thing that we did last time. We'll try to have the information out towards the end of the first month, but we will probably be a month behind because we are not going to be prepared to have the first month's information next
No,
week.
because honestly, we're next week.
Is
So today's
Christmas.
Wednesday. We're
Yep.
open Thursday, Friday, Saturday this week. Next week we're open Monday,
Mhm.
and then closed Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for Christmas.
Right.
And then we're open Friday, Saturday, and then open Monday,
Mhm.
and then closed for New Year's. So there's not a lot of days that we'll all be here.
Right. But
between now and the end of the year.
In January, we will get kits out. We will, anybody who's signed up, you'll get your design at the first of the month, but we'll have fabric kits go out in the beginning of January-ish. It will not be.
It won't be on the first.
It will not
but
be on the
It'll
first.
be early. That'll be on the top of the list as soon as
Yeah.
we get through Christmas.
And then in January, we will do January and February's block information so that you can
Yes.
see what is.
You'll have all of
all of that information, and we'll send out an email to each individual person who signs up to let you know when we plan on doing it, what our plan is.
So you can get us on your calendar.
Yes, and so you'll have all that stuff. So you will have the video of how to do the technique each month. We do not know if it's going to be live or if it's going to be pre-recorded, but you will have it. So that is the
digital do. It's definitely going to be different.
yes.
If you have no intention of a wall quilt, but you still love the designs, you can do whatever you want with them. They don't have to be a quilt square. So you could put them on the towels or on the totes or on the whatever it is that we've been talking about, all of these different blanks and different things that you can do. You can pick and choose and mix and match, and we will, when we see something and we go, oh, that would look really cool on this, we're going to say, hey, this is what we want to do with it. We'll give you our ideas and our take on things as well.
I would be shocked if Kimberbell doesn't put the designs on something
I
else
would
as well.
be blown away if they don't give you some other alternative use
Uses
for
of the
something
designs,
every time
right.
too. It just won't be.
You get each month, you don't get them all at once.
So
You will not get the design until the month that it's been released.
But you will get the whole fabric kit with a cutting chart so that you will be able to cut and prep everything for the entire year, because like one fabric is used in more than one block, just like basically every Kimberbell
other Kimberbell
quilt
piece.
kit you've ever gotten. And so you can then just put your pieces in, January, February, March, April, May.
Get a Ziploc bag until
then
it comes to that month.
You'll be prepared when the designs come out to be able to do that. And that's why we'll make sure, the designs come out on the first or the second of the month. That's why we'll try to make sure that we have that information for you before the first, so that when the design appears, you'll already have your fabric.
Right.
You can just get stitching if you would like. So that's what we'll do.
So yeah, and it's a very clear cutting chart. It says, this goes for this month, just like a full quilt. If you were to purchase it, it's very, very clearly written out what goes going to go where.
Yep.
And the fabric bundle you will get from us when you purchase that, you'll get every fabric piece in January.
Yes.
We're not doling out the individual. You're going to get the whole thing in January, and then you can prep your fabrics on your own.
Yeah. And in January, I will make sure that I touch on how to prepare your fabric, what you should do. We'll give you some cutting tips and things like that, because it's a big project.
Right.
So just like we would if you were going to do an actual quilt with us. So we'll give you
Absolutely.
all
We
that
will take you
information.
from start to finish with
Yep.
it. You bet. So that is Digital Dealer that's coming.
Yes.
So I'm not gonna lie, at first I was like, I don't know that I like that. But the more I think about it, I'm like, I could do this with it, and I could do that with it, and so I'm excited. It's
Yes.
been a growing excitement for me. It's not,
So,
it wasn't an out of the gate woo,
Right.
but it's definitely been growing on me
The
for
nice
sure.
thing about it is the type of mystery quilts that I don't like to do are the ones where the person who's designing the fabric isn't giving me a kit. Because I know that if the person who's designing the quilt picked out the fabrics, it's going to look nice together.
Right.
You didn't give me let's pick a red, a blue, and a light green. When I pick out the red, the blue, and the light green, I don't have the right print size, or,
Yep.
and then I go to put it
Or
together.
the shades don't blend like you think they're going
And
to,
I'm
because
like-
you don't know how those are going to go together.
I'm like,
And-
this is awful, because I didn't have enough direction in order to do that. But that should not be a problem, because, well, first of all, we know Kimberbell stuff all goes together. How much do you estimate the shipping will cost? I estimate the shipping will cost $0, because it is
It's
a
a two-
kit.
excuse
It's
me,
over
$200.
$150, and we ship $150 for free.
We will cover that. So if you
So-
buy the whole kit, it will ship to you for free.
Yes, and you will also get the embellishment kit at the same time. So you have all of your
All of the
embellishments and all
stuff.
of your fabrics at the beginning. The only thing you won't have is your designs, and you will get those each
So
month.
our first, this is how we're going to do this year, is going to be how to prep stuff, how to prepare for the whole year,
Yep.
and setting all of that up. And then we'll talk about how to stitch January's block.
Exactly.
So it'll go in that order, not here's how you stitch January's block, and then 2 weeks later we tell you, oh yeah, this is how
should've
you
done
should have
this.
prepped your fabrics 2 weeks ago. We'll start with literally, this is assuming you have your kit now, and this is what you're gonna do with it.
Yep.
So, yep. So it'll be fun.
It will be.
Mystery
be
quilts are
Kimberbell
fun, and the first one they did with the love notes, that turned out stinking adorable.
That's
so
how this all came about.
right, that is how this started. We went live for that. So that was,
We had so many things wrong.
oh God, did we ever? And we have learned a few things since then. Well, she has. I just sit here. And when she's not here, I go, oh crap, how do I do this?
See, she tried to get into my way, and that's how this happened.
Yeah, she just knocked me over and
Touch my camera.
I touched her stuff. Yep. Don't do that. Trust me. Don't do that. Just kidding.
I'm
Okay.
definitely on her nerve.
All right. So,
That's it.
sublimation, so much fun.
Yep.
If we didn't, I don't think we said today, it's actually not that expensive to get into.
$399.
$399 for the printer, which comes with some paper. You would probably want more paper if you're going to have any real fun with that.
Mm-hmm.
But it comes with full cartridges of ink, which
Lasts a very long time.
last a very long time. They really, really do. So much fun. And again, we come with it. Tucker comes with it. So if you have questions and things, we're happy to help you get started and have some fun and maybe, brainstorm, I want to do this, how do I make it work? And we can do all of those things
And
too. So
I know this actually says special order, but we have them in stock, right?
they are in stock. Yes, we do still have, I think we have 2. Yep. Yep. So
And
there's the link for
in case
those.
you wanna buy
If
sublimation.
somebody would like one, we have them in stock. You could literally have it before Christmas.
Yep.
So lots of fun. Even if sublimation is not something you want to get into, there are so many fun, very quick things that you can still have happen before Christmas. Who needs sleep? We just stitch all night, right?
That's right. We can just stitch our eyes open,
Hold
little cross stitch up. Fine,
those
fine.
open with a headband, just whoosh, pull them out and keep stitching. No, don't do that. I have stayed up all night stitching once.
Yeah.
1 year.
One
It was
year.
about 4 years ago, I think. I decided that was not the way to go.
No.
But it happened.
Yep.
Yep.
It does.
I was very
We all
slap
do
happy
that
the
at
next.
least
Very
once.
slap happy the next day, for sure. All right. Thank you guys so much for spending some time with us. We hope you have a wonderful holiday season, whatever it is that you're celebrating. Enjoy your family and your friends and the food.
And thanks for being part of our
and
family.
thanks for being part of our family. It's been
Yep.
a great year, and we hope that you ring in the new year with a bang and you have a really great holiday. So if you're traveling, be safe. And
I'll see some of you Friday online for
yes, there's a class this Friday.
my last class of the year.
Last class of the year is this Friday afternoon.
Yep.
And
Table runner for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
It's very cute.
very cute.
And
Have
then,
a New Year's Day project.
yes. Yep. All right, guys.
You are sewing together, right? All right. Thank you so much. I don't know. Do we have anything else?
I don't think so.
I don't think we do. So thank you again for everything this whole year and for being part of our family. We appreciate each and every one of you. Merry
Bye.
Christmas. Happy
Merry
holidays.
Christmas.
Bye. Awesome. So what do you got, Miss Tucker?
Okay, so I passed out everyone one keychain blank that we've already done the other side to, one little design, and then 2 pieces of heat transfer tape.